Hello everybody, Grizzly Pig here. Welcome to today's episode, and we are starting again up on New World. This is going to be the first episode of hopefully many. I really enjoy New World. When it came out, I played it from day one and only stopped when I wanted to play some other games like Atlas and V-Rising and all that stuff. I'm coming back to it to see what new stuff is in the game, and they have put an expansion in since I last played, so the level cap has been raised, the gear cap has been raised, we now have mounts as well, and we are basically now trying to get ourselves the new best in slot axe, or at least it's best in slot as far as offhand is concerned for what I would want to do with it. But same old stuff really as far as what you see we're doing here. I'm at Merkgard with a massive big group, but we are not just doing chests. In fact, we're not here for the chests at all. We're here for the portals, because what I'm trying to get today is an artifact two-handed sword here called the Abyss, and it has a slim chance of dropping when you shut down the major breaches in zones, the Shattered Mountains, the Brimstone Sands, or Reekwater. So if you want this artifact two-handed axe, they're the only three places you can get it from, and it only comes from the major breaches, and it's when you close them, it's not from the chests. So important to note that as well, just so you know what you're doing and where you're going to get it from, so you're not wasting your time with the small ones in the wrong zone. And as you can see, this is we've got less than 20 people here. They're not hard now that people are level 65 and their gear is really good. It's not quite as hard as it used to be. Sometimes people pull the big mobs again, the commanders, and you don't really want that to happen, but it does, and you just have to clear them up. So these portals, they spawn like once every half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. I can't remember, but it's very regular. So the problem I'm having at the minute on the server I am is in Reekwater and in Brimstone, the portals aren't spawning. For some reason, I hear that apparently it's to do with the town ownership, but whatever it is, they're not spawning, so we have to do Merc to get this axe if we want to do it. There are 5 major breaches here in Merkgard anyway, and they're all quite close together, so this is the spot I really recommend you do anyway. And then once you've done it, you can go off and do some gathering or what other stuff you want to do as well. There's all new woods and ores and stuff you can farm now, and they sell really well, so you can in your downtime go and farm all that stuff. That's what I do. Sell it, doesn't matter what you sell it for, just get it for nothing, make some money on the side there. So let's go back to talk about that axe, and this axe, the Abyss. It's a level, the gear score is 700, just like all the artifact weapons and armor pieces as well. There is another armor piece you can get dropped from these as well, the Grey Wizard's hat, but I'm not here to talk about that. So you get Magnify on this weapon. Most of them have Magnify, and it's basically means that you can use this weapon in a number of different builds. Really, it's a very diverse weapon. The devs have put this in here so that you can use it if you are int spec or your dex or your strength or whatever you want to do. You can make this work, because the stat does not mean because it's, if it had strength on it, it would be like, well, I can't use it in a build that has heavy dexterity or whatever. You can use it wherever you want. And the reason that's important is because if we move on to the second perk of this, and well, this is the main perk. Every artifact, weapon and piece of armor will have a unique perk that you won't find on anything else in the game. And this one is Darkened Blade. It converts 99% of the damage into void damage. And also, if you are fully spec'd into intelligence, or your intelligence is just higher than strength, then this weapon will actually scale with intelligence instead, which is great, because you can use this with a fire staff, a void gauntlet spec with intelligence. Who knows what ideas people might have with it, but it blows the meta wide open, that's for sure. It changes what is going to happen. You're going to get someone come up to you and fear you with a void gauntlet and drop all the nasty stuff on, and then slap you in the face with an axe as well at the same time. Some real hybrid stuff going on there, so that's really quite crazy. I like that idea a lot, and maybe I'm going to try and get that to work with something. There's also an interesting one with a Void Gauntlet as well that I think could work really nicely with some builds that you just would not see a Void Gauntlet work with otherwise, so it's quite similar in that respect. Anyway, next perk, 15% more damage when your mana is below 100%. So this really is going to be a great weapon if you are initiating with a Void Gauntlet, for example, and then you're going to swing at people afterwards. If you can be below 100% mana, then you're going to do more damage. So great perk there, but if you want to use it just as an offhand in dungeons as well, to get the gravity well on and pull the mobs together and then spear everything down, it's still a great weapon for that as well. And then the next perk is going to be Abyssal Attunement, so you're going to deal an additional percentage of your weapon damage as void damage, 14% weapon damage, and that's obviously just great. It's extra upfront damage there, so for min-maxing on damage, a great perk to have. And then the next perk is going to be Refreshing Move. Light and heavy attacks reduce your active cooldown by 2.5%. Overall, you can't really go wrong with this. This is just an all-round great perk, especially if you are doing healing like I am now, for example. So if you have this on your live staff, it's really crazy. But anyway, that's diverging from the point here. It's a great perk. And then lastly, this is a random perk, but you can roll it to be whatever you want it to be. It's expensive, this perk here, and all of the artifacts, whether they're armor pieces, weapon pieces or jewelry, you will be able to upgrade them at the gypsum if you've got the materials, and you'll be able to get this last final perk. But if you have this as your offhand weapon, I wouldn't stress over this too much. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to think like, oh, I need to have this or can't use this weapon or whatever. These weapons, these artifacts are always going to be great without this last perk on there. So don't worry too much, because it costs like 500 dark matter to get this last perk. So you're not going to get it overnight, that's for sure. You get dark matter by doing, you open chests, you kill bosses and stuff like that, but the quickest way to get it is by doing mutation dungeons. You get a whole load of them if you get gold ranking on M1, 2 and 3, of course, is going to be the best one. Then you're going to get a whole load of dark matter to be able to get this perk. Eventually, after you've been playing for some time, you're going to find that it won't be such a problem with dark matter. But when you first start off like me, I haven't got loads of dark matter, so I'm going to think really about which weapon I first of all want to get my final perk on. But as you can see, I am healing here. For me, this is one of the roles I've chosen because I want to do dungeons and do mutation dungeons to get those dark matter. So healing is a really great role. The only better role that I would suggest is going for a tank, and that even works really nicely in Merc as well, because you still need tanks for this, and people generally don't tank these portals. So if you are a tank, then things are going to be very smooth, and being a healer is going to make things smooth as well, because people need healing. A lot of people don't want to heal Merc Guard because people pull the commanders, and if you're a healer, you're the first person to get aggro and you go kapoof, and you're the first one to die. As you saw earlier actually in the video, I drew aggro just because I healed after someone had pulled something they shouldn't have pulled. But healing is a great way to get through the PvE content here. I want to move on to the PvP as soon as I can. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm also running luck gems on my gear, and I've got luck perk on most of it where I can as well. I think my jewelry, a couple of pieces don't have luck on it. That's on the bags as well, because I want to give myself the best chance of getting the artifacts as well as some any decent loot there. So if you can do that, then I recommend you do the same as well, even if you can't do it for the mutations. Anyway, let's get back to the Abyss. So we're going to talk about the quests now that you need to do to unlock each perk. So with every weapon and artifact, once you receive it, the perks won't all be available to you. In fact, 4 of them you will have to unlock. The last one you do at the Gypsum Kiln, which we've already spoke about, but You will also need to do 3 other quests to unlock the 3 other perks, and with the Abyss in this case we just have to kill 50 corrupted in each of the respective areas of where you can get this drop from. So 50 corrupted in Reekwater, 50 corrupted in Shattered Mountains, 50 corrupted in the Brimstone Sands area. It's super easy to do. You just have to go and find an area that has lots of corrupted. They don't have to be elite or anything like that. They're easier than mobs, they're quicker, and easier it's going to be to complete. So another thing to mention is you can fill up on these quests as well. So if you have too many artifacts, you'll have to go into your quest log and get rid of like set quests from an artifact. You won't be able to see the quests as well until you actually wear the weapon, and then they will be revealed to you what you need to do with any weapon or armor piece as well. And you can only complete the quests while you're actually wearing that artifact as well. So what I'm actually planning on doing with this artifact would be to run it with my spear build in dungeons. I would like to have it as a offhand weapon for my spear build, and the reason I want to do that is because with mobs I really like to use gravity well and pull them in together. I think it is a super underrated move for getting mobs together, pulling them in together. So I literally just want it as a nice offhand weapon, to be honest with you, and it is a 700 gear score, so that's super nice for mutations, because your damage mitigation and the damage you deal to mobs in the mutations is directly linked to your gear score. That's to say that it scales directly with your gear score. So if you are 650 gear score on average, you will be doing less damage and taking more damage than if you are on average a 700 gear score player. And it's also worth noting as well in this new expansion that we don't have 10 levels of mutations, we only have 3 now. They got rid of the umbral shards, of course, so you don't need to level your weapon from 600 to 625 by using the umbral shards. Of course that is totally obsolete now anyway, because the gear cap is 700. Expertise has gone out the window. Now it just seems to be that everything drops random. If you get a level 700 piece of gear, then you're just ultra lucky. And now of course you can see why I put this footage on the video, because we actually got the Abyss drop this run. So there you can see it, and you can see all the 4 perks that you have to unlock there with the quests. Anyway, just while I show you guys what this two-handed axe looks like, it looks really cool, by the way. I'd just like to say I'm going to be making some PvP videos very soon. I'd like to know what you guys think is a really cool one-handed sword. I've got some ideas, but I'm still new to the game, returning again, you know, so I'd like to see what your guys' ideas are on a one-handed sword. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.